every once in a while, you meet someone that just blows you away with their tenacity and their intelligence. And that is exactly what happened when KREM 2's Laura Papetti interviewed an airman at Fairchild Air Force Base.
On any military base in the country, you'll meet people, each with a different story of why they joined up. Regardless of branch or rank, men and women have their own recollection of what called them to uniform.
Guess I'm on my way.
But there are very few who have a story like Airman Kofi Duhaji.
Needed a friend.
His story doesn't follow a straight line or unfold in a traditional tale.
Did you know who did this?
So let's begin here.
Are we watching it?
On this day at Fairchild Air Force Base,
I trust you.
we follow him while he completes his daily workload.
Boom.
And he dreams and talks of a different future.
To become a fighter, a pilot for the Air Force.
While exact numbers are hard to come by, there are less than a few thousand fighter pilots in the U.S. Air Force. So statistically, the odds may seem stacked against Airman Duhaji. But then the odds that he would ever be here, talking to the media at an air base in eastern Washington,
You got me?
seem unlikely. Duhaji grew up in Togo, Africa. It is a small Western African country bordering on Ghana.
High school pictures.
Quiet and bright, Duhaji dreamed beyond village life.
Growing up, though, all I was focused on, interested in is plane. So every time I'll raise my eyes to the sky.
While his dreams were above, he focused on what was in front. He and his sister left home to go to school, living in poverty while they studied.
There was no electricity.
No electricity, no money, but he wanted the education and was willing to struggle.
This is when I was doing an internship.
Eventually, he would be able to go to college by day, but at night, he had a different life. Raised by a musician father, he could sing, giving voice to some of his struggles and dreams.
Sometimes I leave the club in the morning and go to school.
His name and voice became more familiar. And within Togo, he was becoming a singing sensation.
People were asking for selfie. People were asking for autographs. And I have to represent Togo on a couple of international music stages.
So now, from extreme poverty, Duhaji had gotten a 2-year engineering degree, built his own company, and was a locally known musician. But still, his dream of life in the U.S. persisted, and he entered an immigration lottery. He says nearly 84,000 people entered, and he was one of 500 picked. It was the beginning of a long process and of a dream come to life. September 27, 2016. The family got to the U.S. 5 months later, Duhaji decided to give back. He enlisted. A boy who dreamed of planes entered the U.S. Air Force.
2090, 2050.
10-4.
Which brings us here to Fairchild, where Duhaji has impressed his fellow airmen to the point where they felt his story needed to be told.
The story just, it motivated us and brought goosebumps from head to toe. Just to hear that somebody was willing and just wanted to come over here so bad and is now serving this country.
Morning, Sergeant. It's the best decision I've ever made. If this country is what it is, and I was able to move here in my pursuit of happiness, it's because of people who made the ultimate sacrifice.
While he works around planes and near planes, he does not fly them, at least not yet. Because the once businessman turned singing sensation turned military member has plans. Plans that will take him from supporting the mission to maybe flying the mission.
And be able to help lead the Air Force to the next step.
Duhaji is currently going to school and is hoping to be accepted to Officer Candidate School. He has taught himself multiple languages and recently became a U.S. citizen. He was also recently promoted 6 months early to become senior airman. While he is inspired by the skies, It's the people on the ground who are inspired by him.
To hear this story, and it's just so motivating. It's like somebody else needs to hear your story. You will one day motivate somebody to do what they thought was impossible for them. And here we are now.
I'm the monster.
And then here we are, where the airman lives a pretty normal life, playing with his kids and still singing on request. And while the days of Togo may seem far away,
I always wanted to have.
There are signs of pride of his past. A childhood memento of the Togo flag is on his wall, next to the American flag that he bought in the streets of his African home. It was this street trinket that helped fuel his dream to make it to the U.S., and it is still the U.S. flag that reminds him that his dreams may indeed come true.